Before your child turns 7 years old, something extraordinary is happening inside their brain. Something so powerful, so life-shaping, that it determines almost everything about who they will become. And the most surprising part, it has almost nothing to do with memorizing letters, counting to 20, or starting academics early. In fact, most of what truly builds a smart child happens long before school ever begins, and long before most parents even realize the window is open. Right now, as you watch this video, your child's brain is wiring itself at a speed it will never reach again for the rest of their life. Millions of new connections form every single second, shaping intelligence, emotional strength, creativity, language, curiosity, self-control, resilience, the entire blueprint of who they will become. Before age 7, the brain is like wet cement. Everything lands deeply, everything sticks, and everything you do, the tone of your voice, the routines you build, the way you respond in stressful moments, is shaping the foundation your child will stand on for the rest of their life. And here's the truth no one tells parents. Smart children are not born, they are built. Not through worksheets, not through flashcards, not through pressure. They're built through everyday interactions inside the home, through connection, through emotional safety, through play, through conversation, through routine, through modeling, through the thousands of micro moments your child absorbs from you without ever saying a word. In these first 7 years, your child is living in what neuroscientists call a superlearning state. Their brain waves are slower, more open, more absorbent. They learn effortlessly. They copy everything. They internalize patterns faster than you can imagine. And this is exactly why early childhood is the most powerful opportunity a parent will ever have, not to push academics, but to build the deeper structures that make learning easy later. Think of it this way: academic skills are the fruit, but before age 7, you are building the roots. Roots of emotional intelligence. Roots of self-regulation. Roots of language. Roots of curiosity. Roots of problem solving. Roots of confidence. Roots of focus and attention. Without these, school becomes a struggle. With them, school becomes natural. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 things that actually create a smart child, backed by neuroscience, child psychology, and decades of developmental research. Some of them will surprise you. Some may even challenge what you've been told. But all of them are powerful, simple, and completely doable, no matter your background, education level, or parenting style. And before we dive deeper, let me ask you this. If you find value in what you're learning, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the Parenting Blueprint, and share your thoughts in the comments. It helps more parents discover the truth about early childhood and raises a generation of emotionally healthier kids. Now, let's begin with the first cornerstone of intelligence, the thing that shapes every other skill your child will develop. When you think of what makes a child truly intelligent, most people imagine advanced vocabulary, early reading, or the ability to solve puzzles quickly. But the real foundation of intelligence begins much earlier and in a much quieter place: your relationship with your child. Before age 7, the brain is built from the inside out, and the very first layer it builds is emotional safety. This is the soil in which every cognitive skill grows. When a child feels safe, connected, and understood, the brain opens. When they feel tense, pressured, or unsure, the brain closes. It is that simple and that profound. This is why the way you respond to your child during everyday moments matters more than any educational toy or activity you could ever buy. A child who feels emotionally secure has a regulated nervous system, and a regulated nervous system is the gateway to learning, memory, and problem solving. When your child senses that they can come to you, that you listen, that you try to understand their feelings even when those feelings are inconvenient, their brain shifts into a learning mode. Curiosity becomes natural. Confidence flows more freely. They explore more, talk more, imagine more, and push themselves more because the world feels safe enough to take risks. The second major factor that builds intelligence before age 7 is language. not flashcards or workbooks, but real human conversation. The back-and-forth rhythm of talking to your child is one of the strongest predictors of future intelligence. This happens not through teaching, but through connection. Narrating your day, describing what you're doing, responding to their babbling, asking questions even if they cannot answer yet, and giving them the space to speak without rushing them. The more language they hear and the more conversation they participate in, the stronger their neural pathways for communication, comprehension, reasoning, and emotional expression become. And here's the best part. You don't need perfect grammar, big words, or planned activities. Your natural voice is the most powerful tool you have. The way you talk, the tone you use, the warmth you give, all of it shapes how their brain organizes meaning, memories, and emotional understanding. Every shared moment becomes a small construction site for intelligence. Another key element that parents often underestimate is the role of unstructured play. Before age 7, play is not a break from learning, it is learning. When your child builds a tower, they are practicing physics, patience, focus, and creativity. When they pretend to be a chef, or a parent, or an astronaut, they are experimenting with problem solving, emotional roles, and social understanding. When they dig in the dirt or mix water and sand, their brain lights up with sensory integration that supports future reading, writing, and attention. Play is the language of the developing brain, and it teaches more than any worksheet ever could. What surprises many parents is that intelligence is not shaped by pushing harder, but by offering richer experiences. Not more pressure, but more connection. Not more academic drills, but more opportunities for curiosity. When the early years are filled with emotional warmth, meaningful conversation, and free play, children naturally grow into better learners, better thinkers, and more resilient humans. As we move deeper into what truly builds a smart child before age 7, we have to talk about something many parents underestimate: the power of everyday routine. A consistent rhythm in your child's day does more for their brain development than early academics ever could. When a child knows what to expect, when their world feels predictable and steady, their brain can relax. And a relaxed brain is a learning brain. Routine is not about rigidity or perfection. It is about giving your child the internal stability that allows intelligence to flourish. Think about how hard it is to focus when your own mind feels scattered or your environment feels chaotic. Children experience that same overwhelm, except they have fewer tools to manage it. When bedtime happens around the same time, when meals have a rhythm, when transitions are predictable, the brain wires pathways for self-regulation and emotional control. These are the real foundations of academic success, because a child who can manage their emotions can also manage their attention, their curiosity, and their effort. Predictability builds internal order, and internal order builds intelligence. Another key ingredient in this early window is curiosity. A smart child isn't one who knows all the answers. It's one who loves the process of discovering them. Curiosity is the fuel of intelligence, and it grows strongest in environments where children feel safe to explore without fear of judgment. When you follow your child's interests, when you sit with them as they investigate a bug, when you admire the tower they built without correcting it, you ignite something powerful inside them. You teach them that learning is joyful, that exploration is welcome, and that their ideas matter. This mindset carries them through their entire education and far beyond. What shuts curiosity down, however, is overstimulation, and this brings us to a critical point: screen time. Screens are not the enemy, but they often replace the very experiences the developing brain needs most. Heavy screen exposure before age 7 can dull creativity, weaken attention, reduce language development, and limit problem-solving skills, because it offers ready-made stimulation instead of inviting the mind to work. The human brain develops strength by wrestling with boredom, by imagining, by experimenting, by creating its own answers. Screens do the imagining for them, and the brain doesn't grow the same way. This doesn't mean you have to ban screens completely. It means we must protect the space where natural intelligence develops. What children need most in these early years is real-world play, conversation, movement, problem-solving, and human connection. These experiences build thick neural networks, strong executive function, emotional resilience, and the cognitive flexibility that defines truly intelligent children. Perhaps the most important part of this entire process is remembering that intelligence is not a race. You don't need to push your child to be ahead. You only need to offer the right environment, the right emotional support, and the right rhythm for their natural abilities to unfold. Every child grows at their own pace, and when we honor that pace, we allow them to become their fullest selves. As we enter the final elements that shape intelligence before age 7, I want to introduce a concept that many parents overlook: the power of emotional modeling. Your child learns how to think by watching how you think. They learn how to handle frustration by watching how you handle frustration. They learn how to respond to stress by observing your tone, your breathing, your posture, your reactions, long before they understand the meaning of your words. They absorb the energy behind them. If you stay calm when things go wrong, your child learns that challenges are solvable. If you take a deep breath when frustrated, your child learns that emotions can be managed. If you apologize when you lose your patience, your child learns humility and emotional responsibility. Intelligence grows in environments where emotions are acknowledged and regulated, not ignored, punished, or rushed. A child who feels safe expressing their emotions becomes a child who can focus, analyze, and solve problems with clarity rather than fear. Another deeply underestimated factor is the role of imagination in early intelligence. Many parents think imagination is a cute extra or something that entertains children when they're bored. But imagination is actually one of the highest forms of intelligence. It allows a child to visualize possibilities, create mental pictures, predict outcomes, and build flexible thinking. When your child pretends a cardboard box is a spaceship or a stuffed animal is a doctor, they are rehearsing future executive skills, sequencing, planning, empathy, and symbolic reasoning. This is why simple toys often outperform complex ones. A block can become a tower, a bridge, a city, a mountain. A stick can become a wand, a sword, a fishing pole, a conductor's baton. When a toy does less, the brain does more. And when the brain does more, intelligence grows. There is also something incredibly powerful about allowing children to solve small problems on their own. When you resist the urge to step in immediately, when you give them a moment to struggle with a zipper, or figure out how to stack their blocks, or think through how to share a toy with a sibling, you are strengthening their cognitive pathways. Struggle, in healthy doses, is the birthplace of resilience and problem solving. Your job isn't to remove every difficulty. It's to support them as they navigate it. Intelligence grows stronger every time a child faces a challenge and realizes, I can do this. Finally, we must talk about the role of presence. Not perfect presence, not constant attention, but meaningful presence. Your child learns best not when you entertain them, but when you engage with them. When you sit beside them during play, even for a few minutes. When you listen to their stories, even when they wander. When you slow down enough for them to feel seen. A seen child becomes a secure child, and a secure child becomes an intelligent one. Now that we've explored the roots of emotional safety, curiosity, routines, language, play, imagination, and problem solving, we're ready to bring everything together. The final piece is the one most parents overlook, and the one that often makes the biggest difference. There's one final truth about early intelligence that many parents don't hear often enough. You are your child's biggest advantage. Not a tutor, not an early reading program, not a stack of flashcards. You. Your presence, your warmth, your voice, your patience, your routines, your emotional steadiness, your willingness to grow alongside your child. Before age 7, a child's brain is shaped far more by the quality of their relationship with their caregivers than by any academic activity. You are the emotional anchor, the model, the narrator, the guide, and the safe place their mind grows from. This means that every time you slow down for a moment of connection, every time you comfort them when they're overwhelmed, every time you explain something a little more gently, every time you invite them to explore the world with curiosity instead of pressure, you're building intelligence in ways you cannot always see yet. Childhood development doesn't unfold in obvious ways. It builds silently inside the mind, storing thousands of tiny experiences, emotions, patterns, and memories that later reveal themselves as empathy, creativity, focus, resilience, and confidence. The surprising part is how simple most of this truly is. Intelligence is not built through stress or speed. It grows through safety, repetition, wonder, and human connection. It grows in predictable routines. It grows in the warmth of your voice. It grows when you allow your child to try, fail, try again, and feel proud of themselves for overcoming something that once seemed impossible. It grows in imaginative play that stretches the edges of their mind. It grows in conversations that help them understand the world and their place in it. And perhaps most importantly, intelligence grows when parents model emotional strength rather than perfection. Your child doesn't need a flawless parent. They need a regulated one. They need someone who can stay steady when things get messy, someone who can repair after a hard moment, someone who shows them that mistakes aren't disasters, but opportunities to get better at being human. Before we wrap up, let me pause here for a moment. If this video has given you clarity, relief, or encouragement, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the Parenting Blueprint, and share your experience in the comments. Your voice helps other parents feel supported and makes this community stronger. Now, as we bring this message home, remember this: intelligence isn't a sprint, and it isn't a competition. It is a long, beautiful unfolding that begins with safety, play, presence, curiosity, and emotional connection. The years before age 7 do not determine who your child must be. They determine the strength of the foundation they will build on. And the fact that you're watching this, learning, reflecting, and growing tells me one thing: your child is already in the hands of a parent who gives them an extraordinary advantage. You don't need perfection to raise a smart child. You only need intention, connection, and the willingness to show up again and again. Everything else grows from there.